Good afternoon, dear friends. Welcome everybody again after 1 week. Good afternoon, dear friends. Okay, so dear friends, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful. Could you please unmute yourself and just say your favorite word at the moment?
Joy.
Love.
Love.
Peace.
Happiness.
Love.
Light.
Magnolia.
Health.
Magnolia, thank you.
Family.
Hmm.
There we go. Right on the subject.
Okay, so welcome everybody to our weekly online session. Some of you were not here last week, and perhaps you were with your family celebrating Thanksgiving or Native American Heritage Month. Sister Vũ, Nghiem and I, we spent time with 20 of you last week, and I hope that you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving celebration with your loved ones, family, friends, or even just simply alone. It's also a precious time. And it's nice to see again familiar faces. And I wonder, any one of you here are joining us for the first time? Can you raise your hand? Okay, thank you, dear friends, to the welcome, dear friends, to the family. It's always nice to see to have new friends joining us. And happy birthday to all of you who are born in December. Anyone here birthday in December? Okay, nice. I can't believe that the year 2022 is almost over. It's like time flies, doesn't it? And I hope that all of you are in good health right now. And if you are not, then I hope that you have the care and the treatment that you need to help your physical health and mental health be in good state, so that all of us can be present for the year 2022. Be present for 2022 and for 2023. But we stay in the present moment. We are still 2022. Sitting next to me is Sister Dinh Nghiem, Sister True Commitment. For many of us, you have known her. You have seen her over the past few months. And my name is Sister Bội Nghiem, Sister True Pearl. Today we will share with you about the 4 kinds of nutriments. Of course, we like to start off with singing some songs, so we will do just that. I will share with you the song sheet. Let's see. If there's a song in here that you would like to sing, please feel free to type it in the chat box, and we can sing together. Are you able to see this okay? Thumbs up if you are able to see this okay. Wonderful, thank you. Is there a song that you would like us to sing to start the session today? I'm reading the chat box. For some reason, I am unable to open the chat box as I share screen with you. So if you could just say it out.
I love breathing in, breathing out.
Wonderful. And is there a second song?
And when I rise,
And when I rise, okay. Yeah, they're next to one another. We can sing breathing in, breathing out. Please relax your body as we sing. Make sure that your hands are just placed relaxingly on your lap. Your back is straight but not rigid. There's a relaxation on your face with a simple smile. No need to have a fake smile, just have a real smile. And this will not make you tired because you know that when you try hard to smile, it does tend to make you tired mentally. This song also has movements. It's an invitation to remind us there is the flower inside, solidity, stillness, and space in us and around us. We know that these qualities all of us have. And I hope that at this moment we can cultivate that right here and right now. And we ask you to please mute yourself so that there won't be any echo back and forth. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as the dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. Are you free? I can see it on your face. This is a call and response song. So Nghiem, do you know this song?
Yes.
Can you sing and I'll follow you?
Mm-hmm. And
yeah.
And when I rise,
and when I rise,
let me rise,
let me rise
like a bird,
like a bird,
joyfully,
joyfully.
And when I fall,
and when I fall,
let me fall,
let me fall
like a leaf,
like a leaf,
gracefully,
gracefully,
without regret,
without regrets.
And when I sit,
and when I sit,
let me sit,
let me sit
like a mountain,
like a mountain,
solidly,
solidly.
And when I lay,
and when I lay,
let me lay,
let me lay
like a lake,
like a lake,
calm and still,
calm and still,
reflecting all.
reflecting all.
And when I work,
And when I work,
let me work
let me work
like a bee,
like a bee,
lazily.
lazily.
And when I play,
And when I play,
let me play,
let me play
like the rays
like the rays
of the sun,
of the sun,
rejoicingly.
rejoicingly.
And when I cry,
And when I cry,
let me cry
let me cry
like the baby,
like a baby,
wholeheartedly.
wholeheartedly. Yes, so please remember that when you cry. Is there another song request in the chat box that if you could read to me?
Can you sing the song I Am a Cloud?
Sure. Okay, so this can be the last song. I am a cloud, I am the blue sky, I am a bird spreading out its wings. I am a flower, I am the sunshine, I am the earth receiving a seed, and I am free when my heart is open. Yes, I am free when my mind is clear. Oh, dear siblings, yes, dear siblings, let's walk together mindfully. And I am free when my heart is open. Yes, I am free when my mind is clear. Oh, dear siblings, yes, dear siblings, let's walk together joyfully. Thank you, dear Sister Nghiem and dear friends. Yes, so there is the song Walking Meditation and number 15 we just sang. So hopefully we'll sing the Walking Meditation short song before we end. So stay until the very end to hear us sing a Walking Meditation for those of you who make that special request. So dear friends, now Sister Nghiem will offer a guided meditation. So I ask her to share with you a few words, and then we will start. At this moment, there are 50 of us in this Zoom room. Very nice, beautiful number.
Dear friends, I would like to invite everyone to come back to your breathing. Relax your shoulders. Keep your back straight but relax. Relax your feet. Relax your face. Maintain a half smile in order to release any tension you might hold in your face. You will hear 2 sentences followed by keywords to help you to focus on the breathing and to be concentrated, not to think about the keywords. Just let it be penetrated in yourself. We will start with 3 sounds of the bell. Breathing in. I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. In, out. Breathing in. I follow my in-breath from the beginning to the end, all the way through. Breathing out. I follow my out-breath from the beginning to the end, all the way through. Follow in-breath, follow in out-breath, all the way through. Breathing in, I'm aware of the edible food I consume every day. Breathing out, I see the effect of my consumption on the universe. Edible food, effect on the universe. Breathing in, I'm aware of the edible food I consume. Breathing out, I'm determined to eat in a way that reduces the suffering of living beings. Edible food, reducing suffering. Breathing in, I'm aware of the sense impressions I consume every day. Breathing out, I'm determined to have wholesome sense contacts, sense impressions, wholesome sense contacts. Breathing in, I'm aware of the desires and intentions I consume every day. Breathing out, I'm determined to base my attentions in understanding and love. Desires and intentions, understanding and love. Breathing in, I'm aware of the collective consciousness that nourishes me every day. Breathing out, I'm determined to be nourished by what is wholesome in that consciousness. Collective consciousness, wholesome elements. Breathing in, I follow my in-breath from the beginning to the end. Breathing out, I follow my out-breath from the beginning to the end. Following in-breath, following out-breath. Dear friends, the guided meditation is over. You can open your eyes and smile to yourself and to everyone. You can massage our face. Massage our shoulders. Arms. Hands, fingers. And your back.
If you have your water with you, please enjoy your water or your tea. Good afternoon, dear respected Thầy, dear Sister Dinh, dear beloved community. Today is December 1st in the year 2022. Sister Nghiem and I, we are at Magnolia Grove Monastery, and you are all over the world. I won't mention where you are because then I will miss some places. It's safe to say you're all over the place, right? You're all over the world. And I know that many of you are from the United States. Some are in Asia, in Europe, in Canada, in South America, Australia, Africa. And it's very nice that we get a chance to be together to cultivate, to create a wholesome collective consciousness that Sister Nghiem mentioned in the guided meditation. Before I share about the 4 kinds of nutriments, I want to share with you some happy monastery. First of all, on Monday, a group of the monastics, we went to Shelbyville, Tennessee to meet the owner that sold the composite decking. For those of you who were here on the session that I shared about the deck for the sisters building, right? And so we had a chance to meet the owner, and it was very nice of him to offer $50,000 worth of building supplies to the monastery. And so we did go and chose the materials, And yesterday, the supplies arrived. The truck driver arrived around 5 o'clock, and it was in the 50-feet container, very big truck. And here's a story of correcting the perception. You know, oftentimes when we hear the word truck driver, perhaps you would think of a man, a big man, driving a truck. I would often have that image too. And so recently when I was in the highway, every time we pass by a truck, I observe my own mind to see who I think is driving the truck. And oftentimes it will be a man. And then we pass by the truck and I look over and it happened to be a woman. And I say, you see, Sister Bội Nghiem. So yesterday, as I was communicating with the person who arranged the delivery, and he gave me the phone number, and all the time, you know, communicating with him, I would use the he pronoun. So when will he arrive? And so when the driver arrived, it was a female, a very petite female. I think she's just 5 feet. Yes, driving this big truck. And there again, correcting my perception. And I am very happy every time my wrong perception is corrected. So next time when you think of a truck driver, just think of a if you happen to think of it a man, tell yourself again, are you sure? So yeah, the supplies arrived at the monastery, and we are very grateful to the owner. And it was nice to meet him in person, even those challenge time we had together over the phone. We were able to bow to one another and shook each other's hand. That's one good news. Another good news is that the 2023 calendar of retreats and events are posted on our website. I want to take a moment to share that with you so that you can see them easily. It will be another busy year and joyful year at the monastery. Very soon we will have the holiday retreat from December 28th to January 1st. If you haven't decided to come and wish to come, please register soon. We do not have a waiting list, but people are also, canceling because of last minute changes on their plan. On January 10th and January 22nd, we will have a special memorial for our beloved teacher. The reason why we chose both of these dates because January 22nd, that is the Western calendar. The January 10th is based on the lunar calendar. And January 22nd is the first day of the Lunar New Year. And it will be a ceremony where we have chanting and perhaps a session where we share teachings as well as memories we have with our teacher. The monastic will have some resting days, and February 10th, we will open for general stay, personal retreat. For May 15th to May 19th, if you are ages from 18 to 35, please join us for our first ever wake-up retreat at the monastery. After 12 years of opening, we have a full retreat for young people. In the past, we only had just for a weekend. This time is Wednesday to a Sunday retreat. And after 5 years of not having the 12-step retreat, we now have it again. So if you're in AA or the 12-step program, please join us. Here is a very special news. Sister Chân Không will visit United States. She will visit Harvard, Blue Cliff Monastery, Deer Park Monastery, and Magnolia Grove Monastery. And during her time here, we will have a special retreat from May 3rd to May 7th. And we know that with her age in her 80s, her health is unknown. And if she is not able to come due to health reasons, the monastery will continue to host the retreat. And May 7th is the Vesak celebration, the Buddha's birthday. Also, after some years, we didn't have the open house. We have it on May 20th to welcome our neighbors, local friends also, our friends from afar to come and join us for the open house. Delicious, delicious food. People come to enjoy the food and the ground of the monastery. We usually have it during the summer when the lotus bloom, but unfortunately in the last, I think, 7 years, the golden lotus at the monastery is now extinct. And in the summer, it will be just too hot and too many bugs. It's not pleasant to sit outside, enjoy vegan meals with ants crawling, mosquitoes, right? So we decided to do it in spring, where it's more pleasant. And then the monastery closed for a few days. If you are in the Vietnamese Buddhist youths, you are invited to join us from June 22nd to the 23rd. The retreat will be both in English and Vietnamese, and a special retreat for our An Bang friends. An Bang is a village near Huế, central Vietnam, and there's a large community of An Bang friends in the United States. As you know, that Magnolia Grove was founded thanks to the generosity of a group of An Bang friends. So that will be July 15th to 18th. And we will have a US tour where monastics from other centers, Deer Park and Blue Cliff, will come here to help lead 2 retreats. At Magnolia, we will have 2 retreats. One just a general retreat, and another retreat will be for healthcare professionals, first responders, mental health, doctors, MD, if you identify yourself, if you work in that field. We haven't put up the official dates yet. We will soon. And we have the 3-month retreat. You are welcome to come and stay for 3 months, 1 week, a weekend or 2 weeks. And November comes, Thanksgiving celebration. And December comes, the holiday retreat. And of course, we will also visit other places to lead retreats and host days of mindfulness. Yes, there are many other retreats that we wish to have, like the BIPOC retreat, the educators retreat, but with the schedule, with the number of monastics, we feel that this is sufficient for us next year. And we hope to have other retreats the year after. So happy news to share with you. Don't email the office yet when registration will be open. Because the only answer they will say is, please check our website later from time to time. And yes, we do hope to have the registration up soon. It's in the working process. Can we extend Wake Up Retreat age limit to 39, please? That's a very hard question. I'll save that next time. Let us listen to one sound of the bell. So, dear beloved Sangha, for the next few sessions that myself and Sister Nghiem or any other special guests will facilitate, will contemplate and learn together the 4 kinds of nutriments. The question I want to ask you all today that please type in the chat box is, when you hear the word food, what comes to mind? Without any thinking, just like when I hear the word truck driver, right away I would think it's a male. So when you hear the word food, what comes to mind? It is simple answer. Please type it in the chat box. My belly full, energy, yum, oatmeal, beans and rice. It seems like we're a vegetarian group. Huh? Pizza, black beans, rice. Dagny says dumplings. Delicious vegetables, egg roll, good meal, relieve hunger. Lettuce in my refrigerator. Sister Nghiem, could you help to read some?
Delicious. Pleasure. Mom. Anything I experience. Life. Nourishment. What to eat. What we eat. Nutrition. Veggies. Quinoa. Fruit. Air. Chewing. Energy.
Okay. Vegan dumpling. Thank you, Daphne. Okay, so now I know what you think of when you hear the word food. And this is very common that whenever we hear the word food, we would often think of edible food only, the food that we put to our mouth. Meal, mom. Because why mom? Mom does the cooking. Why not dad? Dad doesn't cook. Dad doesn't cook too, right? Yes. And this is the answer that I often ask young people, like children. They would also just say edible food. Chicken, beef, hamburger. But we know that as we practice meditation, the answer is more than that. That's why I feel that the topic of food is very important these days with the climate change, with the mental health crisis, with the addiction and many other increases in the physical health, heart disease, right, cancer. Food play a role. And is it only edible food that play a role? Or is it more than that? Perhaps many of you have heard our teachers share about the 4 kinds of nutriments and the sutra that the Buddha gave. Today's session, I will just share the general, and then the next few weeks I will go more into specific, the different types of nutriment. There's no need to rush to finish these 4 nutriments in 4 sessions. We can have 8 sessions for these 4 nutriments, because I feel that the more time and space we have to look into these 4 kinds of nutriment, the easier it is for us to see our own ability in practicing it, and at the same time our own limitation and our own weaknesses. We are able to catch the good and the not so good inside of us when we take our time to reflect. Let's play a riddle, see who can answer this question. What is it that the faster you run, the harder it is to catch? What is it that it is? The faster you run, the harder it is to catch. If you know this answer, please type in the chat box. Your breath. Oh, wow, breath, yes. Amazing. 4 or 5 of you say your breath. That is correct. The faster you run, the harder it is to catch your breath. And so this is why I want us to take this slowly, so that we can catch our breath. Because when we are able to catch our breath, we can catch our mind, we can catch our thinking, we can catch our emotions, and we can catch our mental formations. And then we can catch what we eat. Because if we eat fast, it might be difficult for us to really know what we are eating. So we will take our time. We will take our time. Now let's start with the discourse. Any teachings given by the Buddha is considered as a discourse or sutra or sutta. And the Buddha gave thousands of teaching, and it is thanks to Venerable Ananda, with the extraordinary memory, he helped to repeat these sutras back to others, so that today we have them in writing and on record. Venerable Ananda was the Buddha's long-time attendant, often beside the Buddha. And one of the reasons why he was chosen to be the Buddha's attendant was because of his extraordinary memory. The discourses given by the Buddha, perhaps the original has different title, and our ancestors changed the title to make it more relevant to modern time, to modern day language, but the content is still the same. That's why if you have the book Chanting from the Heart by our teacher, the sutras that you see in there, perhaps the titles are somewhat different than the original sutras that the Buddha gave. And it is the same in this case. This sutra has 2 titles that I know of. The first one is the Discourse on the Sun's Flesh. And the second title is a Discourse on the 4 kinds of nutriments. or also known as the Puttamansa Sutra. And in this story, in this discourse, this sutra, the Buddha mentioned about the 4 kinds of nutriments, and he included the 4 examples that are somewhat gruesome and graphic when we first read them. The first one is the edible food, where he gave the example of a couple having to eat the son's flesh, cannibalism. The second example is an image of which sense impression. He used the image of a cow losing its skin, and the insects and maggots sucks the blood from the cow. The third type of food is called volition, where the Buddha used the image of an intelligent man. He wanted to escape a village because that village was there was a fire going on, and it was having burning charcoal in that village, and he didn't want to die, so he wanted to leave. The 4th kind of food is the food of collective consciousness or consciousness, and where there was this man who was a thief, and he was punished by the king with 3 knives putting in his body. So he was going through a lot of fear and pain all night and all day. So these are just the images, the examples. And why did the Buddha give these examples? We will explore together. And we can see if these examples, are easy for us to understand. When we think of food, we have to think beyond of the edible food, which is the food that we put in our mouth. It's not just simply vegetables. If you are vegan or vegetarian, or if you are eat meat, then we think of chicken or beef. We have to go beyond that. We have to go deeper than that. Because that's only one type of food. The Buddha taught us there are 4 kinds of nutriments. The second one is the sense impression. What does it mean? It means that anything that enters our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, they are food. The movies, the conversation we have, the books we read, the music we listen, the poems we enjoy, they are all food. If we think that the edible food affects our physical body only, we are partly right. If we think that this sensory impression food only affects our mind, we are partly right. Any food that we consume, it affects both our body and our mind. It can't just affect one. The third kind of food is volition. Our aspiration in life, our passion in life, our desire. As monastic, we have our own volition. As educator, you have your own volition. As young people, as healthcare professionals, as parents, you have your own volition. What food are we feeding so that volition continues to be alive and does not end up drying or dying? And that food is very, very important to our physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, mental health too. What are we feeding? And the fourth kind of food is consciousness, the environment that we are in, the people that we surround ourselves with, their consciousness and our consciousness. Everything needs food to survive. We know that everything needs food to survive. A tree needs food to survive. Human, animals, breaking it down. Aspiration needs food to survive. Even this little finger here needs food to survive. Our whole body needs food to survive, but breaking it down, this ear, to have hair grow, you gotta have food. To have bright eyes, compassionate eyes, we need the right food. And when it comes to food, selection, choice, choosing is so important. Preventive medicine, prevention is always better than wait until we are not well and receiving the treatment. In Vietnamese, we call that phòng bệnh. What is it, Sister Nghiem?
Phòng bệnh hơn chữa bệnh.
Phòng bệnh hơn chữa bệnh. Prevention is better than receiving the treatment. And food helps us to prevent the worst. And food also prepares us for the best. That's why choosing, be selective what we consume, requires mindfulness, concentration, and insight. I would like to read to you the sutra. And I will share screen so that together we can see this. Oh yes, somebody put a very nice quote. I like to read it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you could let us know the source of where this quote is from, that would be greatly appreciated. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You know, these days, it is so easy for us to access food, edible food, sensory impression. With everything now streaming within our own hands, they're right there. So let's take a moment to read the sutra. Discourse on the 4 kinds of nutriment. Puttamamsa Sutta. This is what I heard one time when the Buddha was in the Anathapindika monastery in the Jeta Grove near the town of Sravasti. That day, the Buddha told the monks, there are 4 kinds of nutriments which enable living beings to grow and maintain life. What are these 4 nutriments? The first is edible food. The second is the food of sense impressions. The third is the food of volition. And the fourth is the food of consciousness. Bhikshus. Bhikshus mean fully ordained monks. Bhikshus, how should a practitioner regard edible food? Imagine a young couple with a baby boy whom they look after and raise with all their love. One day, they decided to bring their son to another country to make their living. They have to go through the difficulties and dangers of a desert. During the journey, they run out of provisions and fall extremely hungry. There is no way out for them, and they discuss the following plan. We only have one son whom we love with all our heart. If we eat his flesh, we shall survive and manage to overcome this dangerous situation. If we do not eat his flesh, all three of us will die. After this discussion, they killed their son. With tears of pain and gritting their teeth, they ate the flesh of their son, just so as to be able to live and come out of the desert. The Buddha asked, "Do you think that couple ate their son's flesh because they wanted to enjoy its taste and because they wanted their bodies to have the nutriment that would make them more beautiful?" The monks replied, "No, Venerable Lord." The Buddha asked, "Were the couple forced to eat the son's flesh in order to survive and escape from dangers of the desert?" The monks replied, "Yes, Venerable Lord." The Buddha taught, "Monks, every time we ingest edible food, we should train ourselves to look at it as our son's flesh. If we meditate on it in this way, we shall have clear insight and understanding, which puts an end to misperceptions about edible food, and our attachment to sensual pleasures will dissolve. Once the attachment of sensual pleasures is transformed, there are no longer any internal formations concerning the five objects of sensual pleasure. In the noble disciple who applies himself to the training and the practice, when the internal formations still bind us, we have to keep returning to this world. How should the practitioner meditate on the food of sense impressions? Imagine a cow which has lost its skin. Wherever it goes, the insects and maggots which live in the earth, in the dust, and on the vegetation attach themselves to the cow and suck its blood. If the cow lies on the earth, the maggots in the earth will attach themselves to it and feed off of it. If she goes down into the water, the insects in the water will attach themselves to it and feed off of it. If she stands in the open space, the insects in the air will attach themselves to it and feed off of it. Whether lying down or standing up, the cow will be irritated and suffer pain. When you ingest the food of sense impressions, you should practice to see it in this light. You will have insight and understanding which puts an end to misperceptions concerning the food of sense impressions. When you have this insight, you will no longer be attached to the three kinds of feeling. When no longer attached to the three kinds of feeling, the noble disciple does not need to strive anymore, because whatever needs to be done has already been done. How should the practitioner meditate on the food of volition? Imagine there is a village or a large town near a pit of burning charcoal. There are only the smokeless, glowing embers left. Now, there is an intelligent man with enough wisdom who does not want to suffer and only wants happiness and peace. He does not want to die and he only wants to live. He thinks, "Over there, the heat is very great. Although there is no smoke and there are no flames, still, if I have to go into that pit, there is no doubt that I shall die." Knowing this, he is determined to leave that large town or that village and go somewhere else. Practitioners should meditate like this on the food of volition. Meditating like this, they will have insight and understanding, which puts an end to misperceptions about the food of volition. When they arrive at that understanding, the three kinds of craving will be ended. When these three cravings are ended, the noble disciple who trains and practices will have no more work to do, because whatever needs to be done has already been done. How should the practitioner meditate on the food of consciousness? Imagine that the soldiers of the king have arrested a criminal. They bind him and bring him to the king. Because he has committed theft, he is punished by people piercing his body with 300 knives. He is assailed by fear and pain all day and all night. Practitioners should regard the food of consciousness in this light. If they do, they will realize a clear insight and understanding of the food of consciousness. When they have this insight and understanding about the food of consciousness, then they will realize insight and clear understanding about the psychosoma. When they have insight and clear understanding about the psychosoma, noble disciples who train and practice will not need to strive anymore, because whatever needs to be done has been done. When the Buddha had spoken, the monks were very happy to put the teachings into practice. This sutra was translated by our teacher, and for commentary on this sutra, please see the book, The Mindfulness Survival Kit, where it talks about the practice of the 5 mindfulness trainings. There are 2 questions that the Buddha asked the monks, as well as all of us who contemplate, when he spoke about edible food. Do you think that couple ate the sun's flesh because they wanted to enjoy its taste, and because they wanted their bodies to have the nutriment that would make them beautiful? Second question. Were the couple forced to eat the sun's flesh in order to survive and escape from the dangers of the desert? And sometimes we eat edible food to escape our sadness, our loneliness, our fear, not to survive and escape danger. This is modern illness, modern challenges we eat to escape from time to time. And so we will look more into the 5 sensual pleasures that the Buddha mentioned. They are money, sex, fame, overeating, and sleeping too much. So this week, we invite you to be mindful of the food that you consume. Pay attention that when that craving comes up, whether that is craving is to, okay, just 10 minutes on YouTube and then we'll stop. Really? Is it going to be only 10 minutes? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I say 10 minutes, but I've been sitting here for 1 hour. Or something delicious, edible food. Oh, I haven't had that dish for so long. I want to eat it all. just pay attention to the feelings and the temptation when it comes to food, sensory impression, sense impression, edible food. Just focus these two first. And if it's too difficult to focus two, then just focus on one, edible food, which will be the first type of nutriment we will contemplate together. If there is one pack of chocolate, for example, and we want, it's so delicious. And I think anything that is delicious, we should take our time and enjoy it. Instead of just finish it one time, we can finish in 5 days. First of all, save money. Second of all, we're able to water many happy seeds 5 days straight instead of just 1 day, right? And really to take care of our temptation and our craving. And drinks. If we have the tendency to add a lot of sugar into our drinks, three teaspoons of sugar, maybe we try to say, okay, this week I will practice just to put 2 spoons of sugar into my coffee or drinks. So choose whichever one that you want to practice, and learn to eat in moderation. We will also look together into the 5 contemplations before eating. Because when we eat edible food, we are also nourishing our aspiration. These 4 nutriments are not separate from one another. They are connected. And why do we practice the 5 contemplations before we eat? It is a reminder for us to nourish our aspiration to build Sangha, to be grateful. And so today I will just share only that. I just want to share with you a very joyful story that occurred today at the monastery, which is related to edible food. So to celebrate the completion of the deck, the sisters invited the whole Sangha to enjoy hot pot. We had mushroom, green vegetables. We also purchased the apple sparkling drink, contains no alcohol. It's alcohol free, but I think it still has some fermentation in it. For me, I could drink 10 cups without any problem. I've never tried alcohol or beer before, so I don't know what that is like to my body. But with this apple sparkling or kombucha, I can drink without any problem. But not everybody is like that. And in times of joy like this, we want everybody to enjoy apple sparkling with hot pot. So we invited one of our sisters to enjoy with us the apple sparkling. Knowing that she is very sensitive, anything that is has a little bit of alcohol, a very low percentage of alcohol, or fermented, is it fermented drink? I don't know what is the right word for it. If you know, please type in the chat box so that I can say it correctly. And I heard a story that one time she ate a piece of chocolate that has a very low percentage of alcohol in it, and right after she was drunk. So today, she drank just one small bit of this apple sparkling, and she felt somewhat different in her body. Her face started to, uh, turn red. And with someone who has been practicing mindfulness for some years, she's very aware of her body, very aware of her body. And she was on pot washing duty today, but she disappeared after lunch. And we were wondering, where is our sister? And then I went back to the nunnery. And then I saw my sister resting. And she was humming, she was singing. And I tried to wake her up. I say, sister, are you okay? Wake up. She could not hear what I say. She continues to. I was like, oh, I've never seen anything like this, and it's pretty scary. And then she started to talk. She said my name. She said, Sister Nghiem, why you sleep too much? Or she said, Sister Nghiem, why do you go to sleep so late? Unconsciously. So every time she called my name, I say, yes, sister, I'm here. I tried to tap on her hand, but she was not very aware. I don't know if this is a sign of, my sister was like drunk. Temporarily, we can just use that word. And so this is a reminder for all of us, and for me too, that when we know that somebody's body is sensitive to a type of food, we shouldn't encourage them to eat or to drink. Even though right at that moment, yes, they are flow together as a river with all of us. But then the consequences can be quite severe. So it might look funny, but I don't think it's funny. And my sister, her body has to go through a lot. And it leaves some a lot of pain in the body. So this is why to respect, to know when somebody's body is not responding well to a type of drink or to a type of food, we should respect that person and make them feel comfortable in front of others. So when she wakes up, I will share with her the stories so that she knows what happened after lunch. But this is why it's so important for us to choose and for us to support one another. What we eat, what we consume. Because all of us, we want to stay healthy and alert. Because there are foods that put a lot of chemicals, additives, right? That perhaps we are not aware of. So I can go on forever about food because I think we all love food. But we are learning to love food in a way that is healthy. The impact the environment is positive. And also the people that we love, the surrounding, also have received the positive effect of what we consume. So thank you so much, dear friends, for listening. I'd like to end my sharing here, and we can open the space up for any of you to have any question or anything to share. I like to ask this Nghiem one question, is that how do you practice taking care of your cravings, the food that you like to eat a lot, or practice of eating in moderation, Sister Nghiem? Whether that is listening to a lot of Dharma talks, that's also food. Thank you.
Dear sister, dear community, Sister Bội Nghiem's questions brings me back to the time that I was a student in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. I was far from my hometown, that is Huế City in the center of Vietnam. And I moved to Ho Chi Minh City for my studying. And I stayed with my aunt's family. And I remember that every day I just, especially when I miss my family or whenever I got sick, I always dream about a bowl of soup, sweet potato leaf soup with some mushrooms, some kind of mushrooms very famous in Huế City. Actually, in Ho Chi Minh City, they also sell that vegetable, but it's not tasty like it is in my hometown. The mushrooms also is not tasty like it is in my hometown. And I remember I dream about it every day, especially when I was sick. And whenever I went home, I just ate that soup. And with that vegetable, we can have a kind of a boiled vegetable, steamed vegetable, or stir-fried vegetable and soup. And I really enjoy it. And my aunt told my mom that she just needs rice and that kind of vegetable to raise me up, because I just love to eat those things. And you know, I was so skinny at that time. And when I'm sitting here thinking about that time, I recognize that it's not only the food, but also the childhood time, my happy time, and the love, the care that I receive from my family, especially from my mom, my grandmom. And when I'm far from family, I just dream about it. And it's a kind of craving. And since I became a nun, sometimes I also dream about that. Yeah. Even though here in the monastery, we also have that vegetable, it's not tasty like it was in the past. And I think because it's stuck in my mind, is in my mind because when before I come in here to the Magnolia Grove Monastery, I had a chance to go visit home, and my mom cooked that dish for me. But the taste is much different. Then I recognize that it's just the memory that I carry in myself. It doesn't mean that the taste of the food is different, but because my mind is changed, I'm okay with whatever I have right now because I'm happy right now. Maybe because I was not happy when I was far from family. I was homesick. That's why I was craving for that kind of food. When I recognize that, I'm so happy because I can be fully present to myself in this very present moment, and also I can care for myself as I can care for my family. Because when I was young, I just wanted to be loved, to be cared. But now I also want to love and care for others, not only receive the love and care from others. And another thing that I really want to share, even though it's not edible food, it's a kind of religion. But I think it's a sense impression. The music is a sense impression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm known as the nun that can sing the kind of melody that I used to be sung by my grandmom when I was young. It's very famous melody in Huế City, in my hometown. And I'm so surprised that I can do it. Then I always think that I'm worded that it's from my grandmom, because she used to sing that for me since I was a baby till I was old enough to be in the college. She still sing that for me every night, especially whenever I went home from Ho Chi Minh City. And I always believe that it's from my grandmom. But yesterday, during the sitting meditation, I recognized that it's not from my grandmom, but it's also from a temple that I was staying about few weeks when I was a little one. About 4 years old, when I was about 4 years old, I was taken to a temple, and I didn't know the reason why I was allowed to stay there for few weeks by myself without my family. And the picture is so clear to me yesterday that I was very small. Every day I follow the venerable there, and it was the rain retreat in Huế City. And every day the temple had formal meals, and after the formal meals, we chant, and then we do slow walking meditation, a kind of one circle. And I was the youngest one and follow the whole deliberation. And I recognize that the melody that I can sing, those melody is from the temple, not from the normal life, the outside melody. And I'm so happy about that. For a long time, I didn't notice that it was there, a kind of carry me, carry myself, carry my mind, since I was very, very young. And I also was watered the seed to become a nun since that time. I didn't know that. Your picture so clear to me, and I was so happy with that. Because whenever I sing the melody, the people outside, they don't know that melody. And now I know it's the melody in a temple in her city. They used to chant. It's a chant melody, it's not a singing. Then even though I'm so little, I didn't recognize it. It was so good that I was water a very good kind of sense impression to nourish my mind. Because before becoming a nun, I didn't sing. I didn't know how to sing. I also didn't want to listen those kind of music, the music that people used to love to listen to, but I didn't want. Because I was water that very wonderful kind of seed, that the melody that nourished my mind. Then that's why now I become a nun, because those wonderful seed that was water in my mind. I'm so happy about that. Yeah, and I recognize why I really love the sisters and brothers, because I was loved in that temple. I see that I'm so easy to reach, to be with the sisters and brothers, even though they're not the same tradition with me, because I was used to be like that before. And I see that as a parents, please choose the good food, not only for your children body, physical body, but also the mind. Then they can manifest to become a very happy person in the future. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Sister Nghiem, for sharing with us your moment of revelation yesterday, and also the importance of childhood food, how one food affects another.